This is Scott Becker with the Becker Private Equity and Business Podcast. Today's discussion is about bootstrapping companies, the pros and cons. And many people romanticize the idea of bootstrapping a company with their own money. I certainly did it with my first company. There's huge benefits to doing so, but there's also huge cons to do so. And I want to talk about that for a moment. First, some of the pros. When you bootstrap your own company, you generally end up with control of it for a lot longer. You might not have people you have to answer to. You might not have board members. You don't have banks. There's a lot of benefits as you try and figure out the business. Second, when you bootstrap you don't have so much money thrown at you, you really have to very quickly early on figure out product fit and what your customers want. Because in most times when you're truly bootstrapping, you got to find a way to profitability and cash flow sooner rather than later, unless you happen to be so wealthy and you'll put tons of money into it. But in my experience, most people that are bootstrapping and self-funding, even if they're rich, are very aggressive about getting into cash flow earlier, not just revenues, not just ideas. The third benefit sometimes to bootstrapping is it brings with it tremendous financial discipline often, because many won't spend what they don't have to grow the company. And so it often can bring with it great financial discipline. So those are some of the pros: control, product fit, financial discipline, the search for greatness in a careful way. Some of the cons are that you end up having to put real dollars out of your net worth at risk to bootstrap a company. And those are real dollars that to earn back require a lot of income to earn those back if your business doesn't work out. The second is, we've seen so many people get truly financially hurt in bootstrapping their own businesses. I remember talking to one leader who said, we didn't buy the house because we bootstrapped the business. The business didn't go well. In hindsight, they should have bought the house. We've seen other businesses get bootstrapped and you have millions of dollars of harm done to family finances. And we take it as it's a real cautionary tale for those with big ambitions but that want to self-finance. It can lead to real financial harm. And so many people so romanticize the starter concept of bootstrapping, but don't realize there can be real financial harm there. The third thing we talk about with when you bootstrap is your growth pattern may be slower because it's harder and harder to hire lots of people, put resources behind things until you've got the money to do so. Now, the flip side of that is some of the best venture capital fund companies I've seen, the original founders got the ball rolling and really started to understand where they should go from a product perspective, where they should go from a people perspective, and then they took on financing, but after they really understood product fit and what they were trying to accomplish. And then we've seen great success sometimes in then doubling and tripling down and using outside money to speed up and accelerate what they're trying to do. That's one of the benefits, whereas if you do it by yourself and you bootstrap, you can go very slow. One of the companies I founded has been in business for 30 plus years, and my God, it didn't accelerate for years and years and years. We hit it right. We ultimately knew what we were doing, but maybe we would have accelerated a lot quicker and a lot larger if we'd taken on money earlier. In any event, those are some of the pros and cons to bootstrapping. Thank you for listening to the Becker Private Equity and Business Podcast. I hope you find this helpful. If you text me bootstrapping at 773-766-5322, and you're the first one to do so, we'll send you a $100 Amazon gift certificate. Thank you for listening to the Becker Private Equity and Business Podcast.